The 10 commandments for becoming a real alpha male. You want to take each of these 10 commandments very, very seriously, because each of these 10 commandments will serve as the backbone for your transformation in becoming a real alpha male. And I'll go ahead and take you through each commandment starting right now. So here we go. Commandment number 1. Thou shalt not bow down to women. Stop apologizing to women. Stop putting women on such a high pedestal. Stop respecting women who don't want to earn it, but rather demand it from you just because they're female. Do not allow yourself to get pulled into all of the media hype going on lately, making women seem like these innocent, perfect little creatures who can do no wrong. Treat women as you would anyone else, no matter how hot she is and no matter how attractive she is. Do not bow down to her. Have some respect for yourself. Have some dignity for yourself. Act like a man of value, and she will treat you like a man of value. Act like you're above her, and she will treat you like you're above her. Talk to her like a mature man, and she will treat you like a mature man. And if she wants respect, guess what? She has to earn it just like any normal person out there. She doesn't get a free pass just because she's female. And just an FYI, any person who expects you to automatically respect them based on their gender alone and not any actual accomplishments, much less any reasons, anyone who just demands that you respect them is someone who deserves zero respect, because they're showing you that they're not willing to earn it, and life doesn't work that way. And there's actually a name for people who walk around doing this, demanding things from people for free without being willing to work for it. And we call these people children. And whenever I come across a female who starts demanding respect just because she's female, that's when I lose respect for her, and I start treating her no different than I would a child. Because in my eyes, she's not acting like an adult, she's acting like a child. And I have no problem treating her like a child. So stop bowing down to women. You don't need to do this. You don't need to apologize. You don't need to be sorry that you were born a man, regardless of what society has to say about it. Be a man and be proud that you're a man, and never be ashamed of it. Only beta males are ashamed of being a man. Alpha males, real alpha males, celebrate the fact that they're a man because they know what a valuable gift it is to be a man. Okay, commandment number 2. Thou shalt not blame others first. Stop blaming everyone else for your woes. Take responsibility for each and every decision that you make in life, because at the end of the day, it's always on you. It's always your fault. You want to get in the habit of blaming yourself first whenever anything goes wrong in your life, because when you develop the habit of blaming yourself first, you'll develop the habit of making better decisions in the future, where you avoid repeating the same mistakes over and over, which is a common problem for people who love to blame others first. Understand, whenever you blame others first, you don't learn a thing, and you never take anything of value from the lesson, because you never think it's your fault. Thus, you stay the same person, and you never change. You never grow. You just stay the same exact finger-pointing, blaming the world person that you were yesterday, and you end up spending your life going in circles, reliving the same events and repeating the same mistakes over and over, bringing the same people into your life over and over, never changing, never transforming, and never becoming a real alpha male. Now, personally, I've gone through a lot of difficulty in life, a lot of hardships. I've had close friends completely screw me over. I've had girlfriends that I've treated like gold completely screw me over. And it would have been so easy to just put the blame on them, blame them for what they did, blame them for how they treated me. but instead I blamed myself. I blamed myself for even allowing them into my life. I blamed myself for turning a blind eye whenever they were doing things that should have raised an eye. I blamed myself for not kicking them out of my life sooner. And because I blamed myself and held myself accountable, I didn't end up repeating these same mistakes over and over. And I was able to take the lessons from those valuable experiences and apply them to my life going forward, where I haven't had a single girlfriend or a single friend come into my life where I've repeated those same mistakes. So you really have to develop the habit of blaming yourself first whenever things go wrong. Because like I said, it's always your fault. There's always a choice that you could have made. There's always a decision that you could have made. There's always something that you could have done differently. Never blame the other person, as hard as it is, because you're never going to learn anything by doing that. You must blame yourself first, every single time, because at the end of the day, it's always your fault. All right, commandment number 3, thou shalt not care what others think of me. Stop caring about what people have to say about you. Stop caring about how people feel about you, good or bad. It should not affect your self-esteem either way, whether they like you or hate you. It shouldn't matter. Your validation and your self-worth should always come from in here, not out there. Because so long as you're allowing your self-worth to be validated by others, you are always going to be at the mercy of their opinions, their judgments, and it's a very vulnerable position to be in. And this is very common with people who have low self-esteem. They derive their self-worth from the opinions and judgments of others. So whenever someone compliments them, their self-esteem skyrockets. But whenever someone has something negative to say about them, their self-esteem plummets. Now, a person with a healthy self-esteem doesn't allow their self-esteem to rise or fall based on the opinions of others, whether people like them or not. Their self-esteem remains unchanged. And ultimately, this is what you want for yourself. You want to have a healthy self-esteem that doesn't need validation from anyone but yourself. Because when you can let go of your obsession of constantly worrying what others think of you, you will be free. You'll be free to act. You'll be free to take risks. You'll be free to maneuver through the world without constant fear that someone is going to judge you for it. More importantly, you want to stop making decisions based on what people think of you and start making decisions based on what's actually best for you. Caring what others think of you is the biggest anchor that you can tie around yourself. Not to mention, every time someone judges you, they're basically holding up a mirror to you and seeing themselves, angry that they can't be as free as you. And because they lack your self-confidence, all they can really do is sit on the sidelines and judge you for it, because it makes them feel morally superior. You have to understand, whenever someone makes a judgment about you, it's never genuine. There's always some political purpose behind it, some personal gain that gives them the opportunity to feel morally superior. The truth is, anyone who is morally superior would never ever judge you. Morally superior people don't throw out judgments or try to shame others. They accept everyone for who they are, whether they like them or not. So stop caring so much about what the world thinks of you. Let go of this obsession. I really want you to free yourself from this burden of always worrying what others are going to think of you every time you do something that does not conform with society. Don't let yourself get sucked into other people's reality. Your frame should be strong enough and your self-esteem should be healthy enough to where they get sucked into your reality and not the other way around. And commandment number 4, thou shalt not be brainwashed by social conditioning. Remember, all things that are intended to control you by means of manipulation is bad, and I don't care what they are. Most things in mainstream society are not meant to encourage individual thought, but to encourage groupthink, to encourage you to fall in line and to keep your mouth shut. And unfortunately, most people in mainstream society do just that. They don't question anything. They don't stop to look around. They merely look at what everyone else is doing and simply copycat their behavior. Even worse, they attempt to police others who do have individual thought, who can think for themselves and aren't willing to conform to society. And if you ever find yourself on the side of the majority, then it's time to step away from the majority and exercise your own individual thought. You should always ask yourself, is what I'm doing really going to help humanity, or will it someday destroy humanity? Is this something that I really believe in, or is this something that I'm being manipulated into believing in by Hollywood, TV, movies? Anything that comes out of Hollywood, by the way, I automatically distrust. I used to raise an eyebrow, I needed to think about it, whereas nowadays, I don't even need to think about it. If it's coming from Hollywood, I can pretty much guarantee you it's meant to enslave you and remove individual thought. There's not a doubt in my mind. Anything that comes out of Hollywood is in fact meant to control you. What you like, what you don't like, what you think is cool, what you don't think is cool. It's no longer just pure entertainment. I can't even remember the last time I watched a movie where there wasn't some form of social conditioning being pushed, some motive to change the minds of millions of people and turn you into another one of their mindless minions for one of their many social causes. And for the record, there is nothing heroic about following the crowd, nor is there anything heroic about shaming others into following the crowd, no matter how good the mission sounds. Understand, it is within your grasp to say no. It's not illegal to not partake in social conditioning, at least not yet. But we are getting there. Don't kid yourself. Just take a look at what's happening now. If you don't toe a certain line, if you don't adopt certain beliefs, you will be attacked. People will shame you. People will throw rocks at you. Why? Because they've been socially conditioned to do so, to attack anyone who rebels against mainstream society, to demonize anyone who appears to be a threat to their utopian vision of the world. Understand, your own individual thought and your own individual beliefs is one of the most powerful weapons that you have as a man. Never let anyone take them from you, especially those operating under the dictatorship of social conditioning. All right, commandment number 5. Thou shalt not live an unhealthy lifestyle. Bad food, drugs, alcohol, not exercising. This is not the way you want to live. It's not healthy physically, it's not healthy mentally, and it's not healthy spiritually. And since none of these habits are cheap, it's not healthy financially either. Understand, you want to live as clean as a lifestyle as you possibly can. You want to treat your body like a temple. You want to treat your body like an instrument. And consuming bad food, drugs, and alcohol aren't going to make you stronger. They are going to make you weaker. And they are going to accelerate your aging process. So you want to pay close attention to everything you allow into your system, because it will affect your performance in life. And I'm not just talking about what you feed your body, but I'm also talking about what you feed your brain in the form of junk food for your mind, whether it be viral videos, prank videos, mainstream news, porn, anything that doesn't make you smarter but makes you more of an idiot, more of a loser. If it does these things, then don't consume it. You want to always be feeding your mind high-value information that can actually add value to your life and won't take value from your life. Just the same, you want to be feeding your body clean, healthy foods. That means no foods that are loaded with sugar, no foods that come in packages, no foods that come in cardboard boxes. Only fresh, clean, healthy foods. Like I said, you want to live as clean of a lifestyle as you possibly can, which isn't easy anymore, especially since most of the foods you'll find out there are not actually good for you. So you really have to get in the habit of reading labels and seeing exactly what it is that you're putting into your body. Now, personally for me, the 3 most toxic foods that I tend to avoid are sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and aspartame. And all 3 are very, very common in most foods today. They're approximately in 80% of the foods that you see out there. And all 3 are very, very toxic and will over time eat away at your health and cause you to suffer all sorts of physical ailments, including the potential for diabetes, brain tumors, even cancer. It actually took me a good few months of solid research to actually find foods that didn't include any of these 3 ingredients, just because they're so common. Sugar being the most common, since it's found in most foods. Same thing with high fructose corn syrup, which is also found in most foods. And aspartame you'll find in most soft drinks. But with a little research, you can find plenty of healthy foods that aren't made with any of these 3 ingredients: sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and aspartame, because they can and will kill you. So make the decision to stop living an unhealthy lifestyle where you're consuming bad food, drugs, alcohol, and anything that doesn't actually help you but hurts you. This includes all of those clown videos that you see on YouTube, all of those TV shows, commercials, where people are acting like morons in order to get your attention, in order to keep you from changing the channel. Remember, these things don't actually add value to your life, they take value from your life. So make a pact with yourself to live a healthy lifestyle. Stop feeding your body toxic foods, and stop feeding your brain mindless junk. Stop living an unhealthy lifestyle. All right, commandment number 6, thou shalt not be reactive in life. Stop reacting to every single guy who looks at you wrong. Stop reacting to every single person who makes a negative comment about you, every person who gossips about you. Just stop being so reactive. Whenever you're reactive, it makes you look defensive, and it gives the other person power over you. You should never react to any person, any place, or any circumstance that you find yourself in. Guys who are high value are never reactive, nor are they ever defensive. And they're never shaken up by people, places, or circumstances that they find themselves in. Guys who are high value are what I call in pickup icy, meaning they're just ice. They're non-reactive. You can't get inside their heads. And because you can't get inside their heads, it causes everyone around them to instantly respect them, to instantly admire them, and want to be like them. Being non-reactive is one of the most critical components that you can master for becoming a real alpha male. And if you look around, most people in society today have become extremely reactive. Every person who looks at them wrong, every person who makes a negative comment about them, every person who gossips about them, they immediately get defensive and go on the attack. They can't let anything go. They can't sit still. They can't be non-reactive. By the way, people who try and pull you into their world of negativity by making comments, by gossiping, are often living in their own world of negativity. and they get pleasure by pulling you into that world. But when you show them that you're above their BS, that they can't get a reaction out of you, they often go away feeling stupid and moving on to the next person, looking for anyone with a weak frame who they can get a reaction out of. Don't let negative and toxic people pull you into their negative, toxic little worlds. Same goes with circumstances or situations that you may find yourself in. Like if you're sitting at a traffic light and someone suddenly rear-ends your car. Or if you're walking along and you suddenly drop your brand new $400 phone. Yes, these things suck. They suck big time. But understand, these things happen in life. Not always, but every once in a while. And they don't just happen to you, but they happen to everyone. It's just part of moving through the world. Stupid things are going to happen sometimes. You can't control them. But what you can control is how you respond to them. Not react, but respond. You can either respond like a mature man, like a real alpha male, or you can react like a little girl, like a weak beta male. And whenever you react, nothing gets accomplished. The situation doesn't change. And most of all, you don't grow, and you don't transform, and you don't become a better man. However, when you respond to circumstance like a mature man, you put everyone else at ease. And now you can move things forward because you're taking leadership, you're taking control like a real alpha male. Okay, commandment number 7. Thou shalt not allow negativity in my life. And I don't care if they're close friends or even family. If they are negative, get them out of your life and be ruthless about it. And if you can't get them out of your life, then avoid them at all costs because they will pull you down. Negativity is like a cancer. And once you allow it into your life, it just grows and grows. People who are negative and toxic live. And I mean, they literally live to pull you into their negative and toxic worlds. So don't give them the opportunity. Cut them off early before they even get started. And you need to be ruthless with this commandment and have no mercy for anyone who is trying to bring negativity into your life. And the less negative people that you have in your life, the less chaos there'll be in your life. Ultimately, you should aim to have no negative people in your life. But every once in a while, someone sneaks in and you don't realize that they're toxic until you start hanging out with them. And the more you hang out with them, the more uncomfortable it becomes to just cut them off, which is why you want to do it early. Don't just keep hanging out with this person because you want to be nice. Like I said, you have to be ruthless with this commandment. Have no room for negativity in your life because like a cancer, it will grow and grow. People who are toxic, by the way, are often friends with a bunch of other people who are also toxic, just like they are, because like attracts like. And if you're friends with this person, it's only a matter of time before you become friends with more of their friends, opening the door to even more toxicity in your life. So don't be passive about this. If someone enters your life that is toxic, don't try and save them. Don't try to make things work. Just do yourself a big favor and cut them off early. Save your time and energy. Like I said, you want to be ruthless with this commandment. Have no room for negativity in your life. None whatsoever. Okay, commandment number 8. Thou shalt never live in scarcity. Make the decision from today on to never live in scarcity ever again. Not with women, not with money, and not with anything. Realize that there is an abundance of women, money and opportunities just waiting for you out there. It is literally yours for the taking. The problem is most people are living in such scarcity that they can't see opportunity if it hit them over the head. They can't see all of the women and money that is available to them if they could just get out of that scarcity mindset. So you really want to shift your mindset away from thinking that everything in the world is scarce, and instead start believing that everything in the world is abundant. Women, money, houses, cars. There's no shortage of any of these things in the world that are available to you for the taking at any time. If you can only shift your thinking away from that scarcity mindset that you've been living under your entire life, and instead adopt an abundance mindset that will empower you and give you the creativity to actually acquire these things. So I want you to make the decision from today on to stop living under that scarcity mindset. The truth is, nothing in the world is scarce. Most things in the world are very abundant and very plentiful with no shortage of supply. So I want you to shift your thinking away from that lower conscious scarcity mindset into a higher conscious abundance mindset, because that's what will open up your mind and actually empower you with the creativity and the fluidity to get the things that you actually want in life. Okay, commandment number 9, thou shalt not live in fear. I want you to make a deal with yourself from today on to no longer live in fear, to no longer be afraid, and instead to live fearlessly in all that you do. And I don't care what it is, but from today on, I want you to develop the habit of being fearless in life. Stop being so conservative. Stop being so cautious. You're never going to get what you want in life by being cautious and conservative. Instead, I want you to think of fear as a dual emotion. You can either use fear to destroy you, or you can use fear to propel you. So if you're allowing fear to destroy you, for example, every decision you make and every move you make will be timid and paranoid. Where if you're allowing fear to propel you, every decision you make will be strong and powerful, not to mention intimidating. Because people who are fearless often come across as more powerful than they normally are, because they're so focused on the problem at hand that they appear to be unstoppable to everyone else around them. And one of the most powerful skills that you can develop as a man is the ability to control your fears, to control your emotions, and to not let fear eat you up alive and push you back into your shell. Because no matter what happens, there are always going to be situations in life that make you afraid, that make you feel fearful. But what separates the men from the boys, the beta males from the alpha males, is the ability to control your fears, to control your emotions. Because think about it, when you're afraid, all you want is for everything to stay the same, for everything to stay familiar, so that you can stay in your comfort zone. However, when you're fearless, all you want to do is break out of your comfort zone and enter unfamiliar territory, where you're forced out of your daily autopilot routine and forced to snap back to life, to wake up, to come alive, where your senses become more focused and more attuned to your environment, where your thinking becomes more open and fluid, as opposed to closed and rigid when you're feeling fearful. So think of fear like a fire. You can either let fear burn you up alive, or you can use fear to blaze your path, to scare you into action, to scare you into survival. And if you ask anyone what the number one reason is for why they don't take action in life, the most common reason you'll hear is fear. They're afraid of what might happen to them if they do this, or what might happen to them if they do that, and they're not willing to take the risk. So fear is essentially controlling their lives, their decisions. and keeping them from breaking out of their shell. It's like when you're watching a football game and say it's a championship game. Generally, the team who is playing more conservative always tends to lose, whereas the team who takes chances, throws deep passes, uses trick plays, and takes calculated risks often ends up winning the game. Why? Because they're playing fearlessly. They're playing to win. Unlike the other team who's playing cautiously and not playing to win, but playing to not lose. And it's no different in life. You're either playing fearlessly, meaning you're playing to win, or you're playing cautiously, meaning you're playing to not lose. And whenever you play cautiously to not lose, guess what? You will lose because someone else is going to start passing on you, throwing deep passes, using trick plays, and all of a sudden you're going to find yourself behind by 2 touchdowns late in the fourth quarter with less than a few seconds to go. So you always want to play fearlessly in all that you do. Always play to win and never play to not lose. Believe in yourself enough to take risks every once in a while. Give yourself the opportunity to gamble every once in a while. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone and force yourself into unfamiliar territory. Snap back to life and come alive again. Don't let yourself stay asleep in your daily your autopilot routine of life just because it's comfortable and safe. Instead, force yourself to explore new territory and make a deal with yourself to never live in fear ever again. And finally, commandment number 10, thou shalt not live without a purpose in life. Understand, living without a purpose in life is like driving a car blindfolded. You have no idea what direction you're headed in, and you have no idea where to turn. You have no idea where you're going. All that you can do is drive around in circles and hope that you don't crash. And if you notice, guys who've not found their purpose in life are often just that. They drive through life with no clear direction and no idea where they're going. As a result, they get bored, they get depressed, they get addicted to escapism, movies, video games, Facebook. They get addicted to external stimuli, drugs, alcohol. Many become obsessed with sports, news, politics, anything that keeps them distracted from having to feel that incompleteness, that empty void. And until you've found your purpose in life, what you're here to do, you will wander the planet like a confused soul, unmotivated, lost, empty. Your number one priority as a man, no matter what anybody else tells you, is to find your purpose in life. That's it. Find out what you're destined to do with your life. You shouldn't be doing anything else but that. And until you've found what it is that you're destined to do with your life, don't commit to anything else. Don't commit to a job. Don't commit to a city. Don't commit to a relationship. Don't commit to anything because you have no idea if it's going to move you closer to where you need to be or further from where you need to be. Like I said, your number one priority in life is to find your purpose in life. And until you've found that, nothing else matters. So how do you know what your purpose is? Your purpose is generally something that you're crazy passionate about, something that you can talk endlessly about and never get bored of, something that gets you crazy excited every time you think about it, something that you can do for the rest of your life and preferably make a living at, where you can support yourself financially by doing what you love to do and not needing a job to support yourself. And that is the ultimate form of success, getting paid to do what you love to do and never having it feel like work. Think of Kobe Bryant, think of Michael Jordan, think of Tiger Woods. These are all guys who found their purpose early in life and had an unbelievable drive to fulfill that purpose. And once you found your purpose in life, your path in life, you'll instantly appear more intimidating to others because you'll have such an intense focus, such an intense drive, and such a clear direction in life that you'll often appear more powerful than everyone else. And the reason you'll appear more powerful is because you found exactly what it is that you were meant to do with your life, which not many guys can say. Unfortunately, most guys are not doing what they were meant to do with their lives, but instead are doing what their parents wanted them to do, or their friends wanted them to do, or society wanted them to do. They're not actually pursuing what they themselves were destined to do. And this is a common problem with most guys today, because from the day that you're born until the day that you die, you're constantly being told to fit in, to conform, to be like everyone else. As a result, you lose your voice, you lose your identity, you lose your individuality. So by the time you even finish high school, you have no idea who you are or what you actually want to do with yourself. Matter of fact, you have a better idea of who you are at 8 years old than you do at 80 years old. So if you have not yet discovered your purpose in life, I want you to stop doing whatever it is that you're doing right now and make your number one priority in life to find your purpose. Find what you're destined to do with your life. And it doesn't matter if you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s. You still have plenty of time. But I want you to figure out what it is that you're most passionate about, what you're most excited about, that you can do for the rest of your life without ever getting bored. And creatively find a way to make an income from it so that you don't have to keep showing up at a job that you were never meant to do in the first place. There's nothing worse than living out the rest of your life doing something that you were never meant to do. You still have an opportunity to change direction, to blaze a new path, to get yourself out of autopilot routine and make a new beginning for yourself. Do not waste another second of your life doing something that you were never meant to do. Don't just stay at your job because you think it's the only option you have. So find your purpose in life, find your path, and rediscover who you are. Give yourself the opportunity to become larger than life. Don't allow yourself to become average. Don't allow yourself to live in mediocrity. Be bigger than that. Find your purpose. Find your path. Get focused. Get driven and become unstoppable. And these are the top 10 commandments that I want to leave you with for becoming a real alpha male. These top 10 commandments will play a huge role in your transformation for becoming a real alpha male. So never forget them. Until next time, this is Am, and I will see you very soon.